Here on this channel, we have reviewed many EDC folders or fixed blades that would serve you well in a beef jerky defense scenario. But we've yet to review a purely beef jerky defense focused knife. Nor have we ever reviewed a Rike knife. Today, both of those things change, because in this box came a knife that is 100% beef jerky defense focused. You would think that I would be so stoked. But you want to stick around to the end for my thoughts on this one. What's up, Kripple Krew? EDC with DBD, disabled but deadly, and yes, we are going to be beef jerky defense focused today. You know, my current favorite beef jerky defense focused EDC knife would be this DC Blade Ceto. As you can see, I've been using this quite a bit. I need to clean off that DLC, but this is a knife that works fantastic for EDC tasks, but is absolutely beef jerky defense or Avenger focused. But today's knife is a little different. It's a very interesting concept. I just don't know if it was hit right. Before you get into that, stab that like button, like you mean it. /subscribe. I'd love to have you here. You're not going to miss out the dope knife and EDC content coming your way. Like this Saturday's 1,500 YouTube subscriber giveaway. Make sure you bash that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of that stuff. If you like what I do here, only costs a couple of bucks a month to join Kripple Krew Inc., where you get access to members-only giveaways, members-only content, members-only live streams, members early access to certain reviews, and soon a members-only Discord. That couple of bucks a month really helps out what I do at the channel, but that's completely up to you. One last thing, drop a comment below. Let me know what's in yo pockets. All right, so our first Rike knife on the channel. And we will be looking at the Rike Bakutuk. And yes, you do see that right. It does say integral handle. Now, the Rike box is pretty nice. Don't hold that against it. This has been through multiple reviewers and a lot of shipping. And inside of this box, you get a Rike knife pouch. Inside of this pouch comes a Rike knife cloth. It's a very nice, soft pouch with storage for 2 knives. You do get a Rike knife card with their socials. You can pause it if you'd like to check those out. And then you get a knife. Yes, we're not just reviewing a knife pouch. We are reviewing the Rike Forever Steel Bakutuk. Rike and Forever Steel are part of the same company. Forever Steel knives are about what can be achieved through engineering. Now, I'm going to run through some specs on this real quick. And what you're looking at in the Bakutuk is a 6.97 inch overall length with a 3-inch Hawkbill blade of M390 with a full flat grind and a Stonewash finish. We are looking at a handle length of that is not right. It says 4.88 inches. So I don't have a smaller tape measure here at the moment, but we will say it is more like 4 1/8 inch. So they were a little off on that. And we have a blade stock thickness of 160 thousandths. So this is a fair bit stockier than most EDC knives, but that's because this is made for strength. And so that you get strength all the way out to that bulky tip. It comes in at a weight of 3.17 ounces, and it was designed by Decklinks, I believe. And you do have a reversible pocket clip. You can flip it over so that you can carry it in whatever pocket suits your situation best for a Beef Jerky Defender knife. I had this in my right rear pocket so that I could pull it and use it. But I want to talk about how it comes out of the box. Out of the box, you get it like you see. And you have a flipper, which works fantastic, and a blade hole, which works just fine, but it doesn't put you in the right grip. And I was looking at this, and I'm like, a knife this Beef Jerky Defense focused has got to be able to deploy when it comes out of your pocket. And so I was trying everything I could. And I actually got kind of frustrated and went to put the knife back in the pouch. And then I found this. This is the removable wave feature that comes in the pouch. And once this is on the knife, it makes so much more sense. Because when I pull this out, this catches the pocket and rips the blade open as it comes out of the pocket, so that when I close my hand, I am in the Beef Jerky Defender grip. Right off the bat, ready to go. You put your finger in the hole to pull it out of your pocket, and you're going to be set up just like this. So you're going to have a knuckle duster, and you're going to be in a Beef Jerky Defender grip. This knife is made for ripping and slashing. This Hawkbill tip is going to catch anything, especially skin, and pull itself right into the cut. And it's going to pull the knife into this recurve that you have in here. And it's going to do some major damage to any beef jerky flesh it comes in contact with. And because of the ring, you're not going to be sliding on that titanium in any beef jerky juice. The ring does have some jimping right here that helps lock you in, and it is large enough to move all the way up here if you wanted it for punching, and it's still comfortable with the knife like that. Or if you wanted the knife where your thumb is lined up just right on there, you can put it right here. Now, the only other grip that makes sense with this knife is with your pinky in and the blade facing you this way. Again, this is for a ripping or slashing motion. If you were behind a beef jerky bag and needed to open up the front of it, imagine, or say, you know, the offender trying to get at your beef jerky has you wrapped up from behind. You could use it this way to get at the arms. And this is going to do massive damage to any flesh it comes into contact with. It's going to, this pokey tip and this hawkbill shape is going to rip right through any clothing. So it is definitely a great blade shape for a, you know, what you could call a Pikal style grip. This is a folding Pikal with a recurve. Now, sure, you can still do that, but again, it doesn't put you in the proper grip. Our handles on this are titanium. I want to point out, I do like the way the show side has this covering the pivot. It looks really good. And as you saw on the box, this is an integral titanium handle with a titanium frame lock. Integral means this is all milled out of one solid piece of titanium. This requires so much more engineering, time, and effort than, say, two pieces of titanium put together in a sandwich construction. And when you're cutting into the titanium, if you get in here and anything is wrong, it's unusable. That piece is now unusable. So it does require engineering and machining skills to make that happen. Is this the proper knife for that? We'll talk about that later. On this side, we have that same awesome anodized gold color around our pivot. And it is, as you can tell, a captive pivot. We've got that reversible pocket clip that's not going to be deep carry. It's going to leave the ring sticking out of your pocket for access. We don't really have much of a sharpening choil here because the plunge grind goes all the way to the edge termination. But on a more self-defense, beef jerky defense focused knife, that makes sense because it's less of a spot for clothing or something to get caught up in as you're trying to pull your blade back. The wave feature works very well. I was able to, whatever pocket I wanted to set this up in, it only took me maybe 2 times drawing it out of the pocket to get the proper angle. Because as you pull the pocket clip up, you're going to want to turn this wave a little towards the seam of your pants as you're pulling out. And after a few tries, it becomes pretty natural. And you can practice drawing this, and it will come out open each time. Now, I do got to point out a couple of negatives about this wave feature. I get what they were going for, you know, being able to remove it, plus it looks cool with the gold. But on a purely beef jerky defense focused knife, fewer parts is preferred, less to go wrong. That's why we recommend fixed blades as the best option. But this is an extra part that's also not very tight. And I have had this fly out of the blade on me twice now while I was opening the knife. Did the knife still open all the way into the open position when that happened? It did, both times. But in a stressful situation, I don't like the idea of a non-perfect draw losing that. That should have been just a piece of the blade, or if they wanted to make it removable, they could have made it screw in. So what they've done here is they've cut this little gate into it that, as you can see, I can push that up. And when I push that up, I can push this out of the blade. If this had been screwed together, then it would be at least stronger and I wouldn't have worries about it popping off. They did give us a hardened steel lock bar insert, so you don't have titanium on hardened steel contact, which is good. Our lockup is about 25, maybe 30%. This might break in and move over a little bit more. However, I kind of would have liked to see that a little closer to 40% on a beef jerky defense knife. This does act as an over travel stop so that you're not going to push the lock bar too far out of place. Titanium is softer than hardened steel when it comes to that, and you could push this to where it deformed and didn't lock up all the way, but this over travel stop makes that not happen. The pocket clip, it does allow the knife to come out of your pocket easily, but it allows it to come out of your pocket too easily. So you go through all the trouble of engineering a beautiful integral handle. You figure out how to engineer a removable wave feature. And then this pocket clip almost seems like an afterthought. The tension on it is very, very weak. It does reverse, which is nice. However, if you don't have a thick pocket seam, then you do risk losing the knife. You need a thick pocket seam because the tension on this, the way this is built, is just too light. And it's not like you can change the tension the way that's made. Some pocket clips you can turn around, bend, and then turn back around to put some more tension on them, but that's not going to work on this. So there's even one pair of my 511 tactical pants, one of my thinner summer pairs, that I would not carry this in because I was too worried about it popping out. This isn't my knife. I'm not going to lose a $350 knife. Yes, now we're getting to the price. Because its pocket clip was too weak for my pocket. So, integral titanium handles, because of the time and the effort and the engineering that goes into them and the machining tools needed, is never cheap. And that's still the case with this knife. We are looking at an integral titanium handle, which being integral does make it stronger. So that is going to be, nice, strong. There is fewer pieces here to worry about, but two of your main pieces aren't strong enough. Anyway, integral titanium, M390 steel, beautiful engineering, but you're $350 for a Beef Jerky Defender knife that you might lose your wave, or you're only going to be able to wear with certain pants. I find that very disappointing. I personally don't think a Beef Jerky Defender Pikal is the right knife to go all integral $350 on, because unlike something like the DC Blade Ceto, the Bakutuk isn't going to get much use as an EDC knife. When I carry this as my backup self-defense knife, this can also be used very well for any EDC tasks that I have. I'm not really going to be using this in some uncomfortable position to do my daily slicing and cutting tasks. This is only going to be used in the very rare instance that this is needed. So I would have liked to have seen a much lower cost on a knife that might be carried a lot but used infrequently. I understand Rike does have a reputation as a very premium company. It's just I don't think all the pieces came together properly on this. If these two pieces, if the wave and the pocket clip were done better, I would have fewer qualms about it. But as a purely Beef Jerky Defender knife, those two pieces are very important. The draw, for one, being able to retain it if you're rolling around. You don't want this popping out at the slightest jostle. But two, you need this to open every single time that you need it, with no worries about whether you're going to lose that wave feature. If this is the kind of knife that you like, and you like collecting knives that showcase beautiful engineering and such, don't let me stop you from buying the knife. It is very well made. The tolerances are fantastic. We are perfectly centered. And the action on this frame lock is very nice. It's still stiff because it's not broken in, but very nice action. The M390 blade is going to hold an edge for a good long time. And this blade shape is very well suited to its intended task. If you like the knife, I'm not here to say it's a bad knife. If this is what you like, grab it. For me personally, I just think there's a few things that are amiss for me, and I have to share that with you when I see it. I'd like to know what you guys think of the Rike Forever Steel Bakutuk. Am I off base? Or do you agree with me? Anyway, hope to see y'all tonight, Thursday evening, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, for TNT Thursday Knife Talks with DBD and War Room. Hope to see y'all there. Don't forget our 1,500 subscriber giveaway is this Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Live participation is required. Until then, stay safe, stay frosty. Most importantly, stay deadly.